Okay, let me make sure we are recording. Let's close that. Okay, good. Hi, everyone. It's Mark Goldman here from the EAB, and today is the day that we stop bullshitting around and start making things happen. I want to show you our new software. This is what we've been working on for a long time, and it's actually, who just joined us? Let's see. How you doing, Bruce? This is actually our old software that's been revamped and retooled as our new software. The reason that I call this our old software that's been retooled is this was actually the software that I used for many years. My original programmers that were with me for 12 years built this for me, and then the main one actually went and took another position. He felt he had reached all he could with me, and he went and he learned some other skills with my blessing. Unfortunately, no one that I ever brought on could ever do anything with what he had built that was to my satisfaction. And so we actually started to use the platform and software that you guys had been using up to this point. Okay, so when Tofik, my developer, and I reconnected a couple months ago, and he said, "Do you want me to come back and work for you?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." So we've actually been spending the last few months working on this, retooling it, and testing it, and I'm now ready to show it to you guys. Right? So let's go ahead and what do we got there? So it's pause. It's not pause. Okay, let's go ahead and walk you through the software and show you why you're going to love it. At this point, it's called GB Responder, but that is not going to be the name of it. We're actually rebranding our entire business. We're moving away from the Gold Bar brand, and we're going to start an entire new company, new brand, new everything, like a rebirth of the Phoenix, so that it was. And that's irrelevant to you guys, everything's going to look the same, but just know that that's being done because we're really going to be making some moves to get behind this in a big way, raise a lot of capital, and move forward with a huge company. I've been hiring people and bringing some people on as staff that can really help us achieve our goals. One thing that I talked to you guys about in the post yesterday was how I've been spending $20 on a VPS and turning that into 100 to $200, $300 every single time. So we're going to talk about that as well and how you could do the same, but let's walk through the software. All right, so what you'll see is pretty much a similar look in that you have the main screen with your autoresponders and your lists here, lists or autoresponders, whatever you want to call them. And let's go ahead and show you something really unique, and that is this, that when you create a list, we automatically create a corresponding openers and clickers list with it, okay? So it's disabled on this, you wouldn't see it. But in this one, you'll see that every time I haven't mailed once, I only mailed once as a test account. This isn't really one that I'm using that much. But just to show you what we could do, we've got 970,000 in here. We mailed once as a test, and we mailed to a few, so we got 327 opens and clicks. But the beauty of this is they were moved in here automatically. We didn't have to do anything to move them. And that the purpose of that is when you send mail to different receiving email providers or ISPs, as I call them, like Gmail, Yahoo, etc., they only want you mailing. Just now, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and mute out whoever. Somebody just came on. Right. Okay, much better. They only want you mailing to the people that are the most engaged. And by engaged, if you remember what I taught you this, it means openers and clickers, people who are opening and clicking. Everyone else, no matter how big the quantity is who aren't, everyone else is fairly unengaged, and we move them to what I call an inactive file. I'll show you that how that will work a little later on. It's not available in this yet, but it will be very shortly, where basically you'll have UK Legacy, UK Legacy openers, UK Legacy clickers, and UK Legacy inactive. And you'll be able to see all of your inactives move to them. You'll be able to control when they do move to the inactive folder and what to do with them from there. But let's drill down a little bit. Let's click on the name itself, and you'll see, you know, we've spent some time on developing a pretty decent interface that's going to show you what you're looking at on from a really refined level. So you'll be able to see the number of subscribers, number of unverified, number of bounces, unsubscribes, etc. And all that was available before, but the difference is with this, you'll be able to drill down and see a lot more about the subscribers. Like for instance, with the bounced, in the next day or so, you're going to be able to see who bounced, why they bounced, for what reason they were removed from your list, and that's going to be pretty cool. The unsubs, you'll also see a lot more info on that, and you'll also be able to really drill down and take a lot more control over your lists. Global domain subscribers, you're going to be able to pretty much see in a really short fashion how many people are on your list from different providers. So we've got Comcast, we've got Gmail, we got Yahoo, we got Hotmail, and we got Hotmail. Now this was in the main screen. Let's drill down on a list level, and let's look at this one. Same, let's see, right here, the domain breakdown, sorry. So this is per list, as you'll see, it shows you up here. So we see we've got Yahoo is the biggest part of this list, then Gmail, then AOL, Hotmail, MSN, okay? So it'll really give you ideas of what to do with your list and how to maximize how you should mail the list, because I'll show you some tricks that you could do with Yahoo. I had mentioned in Jason Lane's list, but if you're ending up in the spam folder, how you can make sure that you get clicks even if you're ending up in the spam folder. You'll see something that I want to show you guys that's pretty important with this system and totally different is that you'll be able to have multiple domain names that you can send your messages out on. So instead of it all going out from v3.goldbar.net or v3.gbresponder.com as you guys did before, you'll be able to add any domain that you want. Now, one thing that I'll share with you is these domains are mine, and they're actually running with a VPS, which has about 7 or 8 IPs on each one of them. It costs me $20 a month, $22 a month for each one, and then the cost of the domain name. And then I'm off and running, and I've been making over 5 to 10 times ROI for every one of them. So that's been working out really well, and that's all with that knowledge. Turn that off because that keeps pausing the screen share. Okay, so you can see you can enter your canned spam address, change that address. And by the way, you'll be able to have as many of these domains as you like from here, and you can change them on a assign them to a list or assign them to specific messages that you might send. You'll also see here where it says provider list. You're now going to be able to drop in SendGrid, Amazon, or any other Mandrill, or any other what's called SMTP provider, so that you no longer need to worry about having IP addresses of your own. And I'll show you later how you can mix and match this in a really cool fashion to get great delivery for your best of the best stuff. All right, you'll see you could subscribe to other autoresponders. If you click that, it'll pull that down. You could remove. You can remove from other autoresponders. And here's something neat. You can actually edit the unsubscribe message, which I don't know very many that allow you to do this, but you'll see the address must remain there, but it can move anywhere that you like. And you could change the default message. So this actually has been changed already from the default message. And that really will help you with delivery, being able to change the footer of your emails. Or if you want, you could turn it off. And that way you have to include like an image-based unsubscribe of your own. That's not really something that I want you guys doing. That's less white hat than I would like you doing, much more black hat, but the option is there. It's available in this software. you can actually run some lists that are single opt-in and some lists that are double opt-in with this software. And with the double opt-in, if you choose to do that, you can actually send 2 confirmation messages. So this is if you're really trying to build your own lists and you want to do it double opt-in, you can certainly do that. And you can actually have, this is like an entire platform for you that's independent of the delivery methods that you're using. So if you're running a double opt-in list and you're running it through SendGrid, you're going to get amazing delivery on this list. Where if you're running another list and you're hammering ClickBank offers to a paid or a joint venture list, then you can do that, and the delivery from one is not going to affect the other. So if you want to keep it with that, you could do double opt-in and set the double opt-in twice if you'd like. Choose to receive notification or accelerate message. I don't remember if I ever went through that with you guys. It's available in the other system as well. But the accelerate message option was something we built for a network marketing company that had a sequence of messages, an autoresponder sequence that was working. And it puts a message at the bottom that says, if you don't want to wait for the next message, click here to receive it immediately, which is really good if you've got really hot prospects and you don't want to lose them or have them have to wait for the sequence. A lot of people don't use this feature, but it is available. The duplicate subscription, by the way, you can mouse over any of these question marks and they will give you inline help telling you what's going on as you're looking at them. So the duplicate subscription will tell you whether to notify, if somebody signs up twice for your list, notify them, ignore them, sign them up again, or sign them up again only if they've completed their sequence. You can set up your own subscription thank you pages, put them on your own domain, direct them to your own domain, or edit it right here. Okay? And the same with the confirmation page. This is all if you're doing double opt-in. But though it's single opt-in by default, but you could set double opt-in for your lists. All right, so let's go ahead. You can generate sign-up forms so that you can sign people up for your list on anywhere on your site. You'll be able to see how it'll look over here, and you'll be able to get the HTML code here. So let's say I want to include your address, etc. Hit update. Sorry. Hit update here, and it'll show you here how it'll look. And you could edit it however you would like. We're going to get pretty fancy with this as we move further on. I've showed this to a number of fairly big emailers, and they're really interested in using it. So there's going to be a lot of money and a lot of time poured into this system even more. So it's going to get only better and better for you guys. Advertisers, if you're running an email newsletter, you guys may want to do that because you'll be able to have access to this and use it as your own system. If you want to run an email newsletter, you could do that, and you'll also be able to stick in advertisers who pay for solo mailings or who pay for sponsorship ads for your newsletter if you're putting out content regularly. There's also going to be available later this year an option with Ad Knowledge where they're looking for more newsletter publishers that they could work with, and they have asked me to bring them to them. So if you have content that you want to put out regularly and you want to get paid for putting your content together, they're going to pay you to put ads in and pay you pay-per-click for everyone who clicks on your ads when you put them in your newsletter. Subscribers. So you'll be able to see just about everything about your subscribers that you could from the other system. But one of the nice things is you'll actually be able to see more about them, the number of clicks that they've made, the number of opens, okay, and their IP. And then you could also, if you start getting this information, edit it, okay? So, and it all depends on that sign-up form. So whatever you've put in that sign-up form are going to be the fields that are available in the edit. So you'll be able to remove, and you'll be able whole bunches of people at once, and remove just certain people as well. Let's go through some of the broadcast and sequence functions. This is a standard broadcast message. You'll see it's got the from name, the from email. Same as with the other system. You can select all or use your mouse to drag or control the Windows command on the Mac. You can actually choose whether to send from a different domain right here. So that's on a per message basis. It's going to get you much better delivery. If the other domain is starting to suffer, you could swap it out on a right away, and that's pretty cool. So you've got to have these set up from the start, but for them to appear in the dropdown. But I'll walk you guys through all those things. I just want to show you some of the features right now. If an advertiser working with the guys over at Ads for Dough, they're going to start giving us suppression lists and saying, hey, you need to make sure that you're using these suppression lists. So you'll upload them, and then they'll appear here in this drop-down. You'll select them, and they'll be scrubbed from the mailing if you're sending out Ads for Dough mailings right here. Use the autoresponder from name. This means if you're sending to multiple autoresponders, sorry, like right here, and you've got a different from name for each, if you set that to yes, it will actually send each one with the different name that's already set up. But I want to show you something that's really important related to this select domain. We talked about it earlier. Now this is our main list, okay? So let's say this is this RPDDO1, okay? And I have chosen to send it from this domain. If you'll notice down here, I've also got a provider list. Now, if you remember, I'm going to open this in a new tab. If you remember, every list has a corresponding openers and clickers. So if we go here, you can actually set a different domain name for your openers, clickers, or if you had SendGrid or Amazon SES or any of those other SMTP providers set up here, you could choose them and just drop them in as the way that your openers and clickers are going to go. So I call this micro deliverability. There's only one other company that's doing anything like this, and they charge you for every single time that you drop in a different provider or a different ESP or a different IP range, whatever the case may be. We are not going to charge people for that. They're going to come and be able to bring, at the moment, they're going to be able to come and bring whomever they like. Okay, when I say whomever, I mean whichever provider that they like, or bring IPs, etc. But I hope you get the power of this. You could load up as much heavy data as you want and send it out on any domain with IPs that you want, even use it for ad knowledge, okay? And when they start opening and clicking, you could actually have them going, those openers and clickers, going out on a totally different domain name, or a totally different, using a totally different provider like SendGrid or Amazon or Mandrill, which is MailChimp's SMTP service. So I don't know if you, I hope you grasp the power of this. Basically, if you had 150,000 people on your main list and you send out a bulk email and you get a few thousand clicks, those few thousand clicks are going to go on your clicker list. If you've got, let's say, sequence messages set up on the clicker list, because those are your most active people, and they start getting those sequence messages, they're all going to go over through whomever you put here. So if you've got a pristine domain that you never send out bounces, or you never send out bad emails on, or you try to only work with the best of the best, you're going to get such good delivery right out of the gate that you're guaranteed to make a lot more money. And the beauty is, if you go back to the main one, you could switch that out at any point too. So let's say you want to choose a different domain name and get even more openers and clickers. The whole point is the freedom with this platform is now all in your hands. All right. So I hope you guys get that. I'm going to pause for a second and see if people have specific questions. So Quentin is saying the screen is blurry. Bruce is saying the screen is blurry. Anybody else still having it blurry, or? Well, don't worry if it's blurry right now, because you're going to have a video for this. So you'll be able to walk through the video as well after we're done and see everything that I'm talking about. But any questions so far? if you type in the chat, because I've muted all of you. All right, tell you what, okay. I'm gonna keep going and just walk through this, continue to, and then if it's blurry, I apologize. There's nothing I can really do about that. It's probably the bandwidth. So just go ahead and bear with me and you'll be able to watch this later. All right, so the suppression list, we spoke about that. That's for companies like Ads for Dough that may give you that. Ad Knowledge doesn't really, well, Ad Knowledge gives us the suppression list and we handle that automatically. Covered the from name, number of subscribers to send message to. If you want, this feature allows you to just basically, boom, throw a few. Let's say I only wanted to mail 52,000 of these subscribers, of the 186,597. I could specify that here. All right, so you'll be able to choose that. You'll be able to send on the date and time. Like I said, drop in any provider. Use spin tax. For any of you who do search engine optimization, you may already know spin tax, and that's where Google hates duplicate content. So there's something called spinning your content, where you could take words and synonyms and use this software called a spinner that will actually insert different synonyms or different substitutions and variations for words so that all of a sudden the content is no longer duplicate, but it's what Google refers to as unique content. Well, we took that approach and we applied it to email. We said the ISPs start to hate and filter on email where you're really pushing through the same message over and over again. So with spin tax, you'll be able to say yes and spin something like that goes like this. I had a bad, or we use this symbol here that's called the pipe. I had a terrible, awful, beastly day, week, month, year. Okay, and you could, it said spin tax address right here. So one of the biggest things that we found is, especially with Gmail, our canned spam address, or the address that goes out in our emails, is something that really always needs to be changed, because they will fingerprint it after a while and start to block you based on your email address. So imagine my, not your email address, sorry, your canned spam address. So imagine that I did this instead. Let's say my address was 22 Red Road and that's what was appearing in the bottom of every email. I could then change that to spelled out, to look stupid and a mistake. And what is that going to do? That's actually going to get Google looking differently, and it's not just Google, but other email receivers looking differently at your messages, okay? So that they're going to see a different variation. So they might have fingerprinted the original address, but they're not going to fingerprint this. These are kind of gray hat tricks to get our emails delivered, but I think you guys are going to like it. And in addition, the text message, you'll see whenever we put in these kind of substitutions, what our software is going to do is go through round robin, and someone's going to get, I had a bad day. I had a terrible day. I had an awful day. I had a beastly day. I had a bad week. I had a terrible week. I had an awful week. I had a beastly, you get the idea. So it's just going to go through that, and every subscriber is going to get basically a different message, but with the same meaning, just you'll have had to work to put that content in there, okay? And these are all features that are going to help you get your emails delivered a lot better. You can add on subscribe text at the top of the message, click-through tracking, send message to Twitter. Just plug in your Twitter username and password if you like, and it will truncate the message and send it to your Twitter account. You'll be able to enter your own HTML or select one of our templates here. Now, these templates will allow you to run a newsletter. They work really well for, we've got some of them in the other software that you would use, and I don't know if you guys ever messed with them. These were written for a couple of years ago, the code for these by a designer who worked really hard to make sure that they were up to snuff then. They may need to be reviewed by someone else nowadays and fix them up, but either way, they are, yeah, what I think is fairly generic, but something that could, you know, look nice and catch attention, and very little images. So this is almost all CSS based, and it's going to really render fast for your clients and make it look pretty decent in their browser, their email clients. So you might get a better chance of getting opens and clicks from the people who preview your messages and see you different from someone who isn't doing this. But in this case, just go back. Right? So just so you guys see, I'm going to put all of this stuff in there, okay? And you'll see you can now preview it. You can choose to send a test email to yourself. All of these features are available in the other software, but they just weren't working like they are here. And now I've got a team of guys under Tawfiq who truly know our software and are going to be able to help you. So you'll get a spam score and suggestions of what to do to fix it if you start to fall into these higher categories, okay? And then, of course, you'll just be able to hit send email, and that's it. You'll be able to send your message to whomever you like. I'm not going to do it here because I'm actually in a live list with other people in it. But I want to show you something else under broadcast messages. You'll be able to split test a broadcast message. Now, this is a feature that was available to an extent in the other system, but not as good as it is here. And there's a reason why. Let's say I choose to send 3 variations of a message, and I want to fix variant 1. So you can see, you know, with split testing, you can send a slightly different subject line, a slightly different body for every variation of your message, and the software will take your list size, let's say it's 120,000, and carve that up into whatever you select here, let's say 3, so that's 40,000 people are going to get message 1, 40,000 are going to get message 2, 40,000 are going to get message 3. That's all the same in both software. Here's what's different. You'll actually be able to send this from either different providers. So again, if you've got SendGrid, you've got Amazon SES, you'll be able to send message 1 from one different range, message 2 from another, message 3 from an SMTP provider. And that will really help you see what's going on with your delivery, how well it's going, how poor it's going. And I'm really happy about this kind of feature. And this is something that we've been working on for quite a while. And it's going to help us to really just stand out from other people. You'll also be able to choose whether you're going to do spin tags on the first variation of the message, on the second variation, etc. And you'll be able to move back and forth. Now let's see who just joined us. Hi, Elias. I'm just going to mute you out, okay? All right, so we just put some junk in there just so you guys can see this. So I'm editing variant 1. I go to variant 2, and I just put some other junk in there. But did we lose what we had in variant 1? No, we didn't. The software saves everything. So you'll be able to really do some interesting split tests. And we've got some ideas from some pretty big name internet marketers who asked us for some features with this that we're going to go out there and implement as well. Randomizing this, providing the way for you to tie this out to money, to dollar amounts, and have a pixel at the end of an order process that is going to tell you how well or poor your emails are performing. Sequence messages are the same, basically. The only difference really is that you'll be able to specify a different provider or a different domain for every message that you have there, okay? And here's something you'll like as well, I believe. I forgot to show you this in the other one. When you start creating emails and saving them, I think one of the worst things with the other system was that you couldn't have a repository of messages that you could draw from. This will actually allow you to access different messages that you've already written once and load it into any system. So it stores it by the subject line and in the category. And you'll see, once I select that, it pre-populates a subject and a text message and an HTML message. All right, so you'll be able to simply store messages, save them. You see, you could save as new creative, add a new category, and it'll store the subject line every time. And then that way, every message you ever send will be stored, and you can send it anywhere that you like by just using this creative manager, okay? This isn't just in the sequence, this is also in the broadcasting feature as well. All right, so I'll pause it again for a second and ask you guys, anybody have any questions? You can go ahead and use the chat box because I've disabled the audio for now. I'll tell you what, I will unmute everyone. All right, that's not going to work. It's definitely causing some feedback from me. So if you do want to ask a question, please put it in the chat box. And if not, think about it. You know, it's a lot to absorb right now. So this is something that we've been working on for many months. So if you're not in it like I am, you may not, you may be, your head may be spinning and wondering what you got to do. So think about this. You can watch the video again later and let me know what questions you may have in the Facebook group. I'm going to go back and resume teaching you. All right, so we've got that. Now back to add knowledge, which was something I think everyone was excited about, and you're going to be even more excited when I share some of this stuff with you. Add knowledge, for those of you who remember, is where we load up lists and get them sent out automatically. You don't have to do anything. All you really have to do is make sure that the lists are in the quality and in the genre that they want, which is the main feature that they want is that it's US based, although I'm seeing that they're starting to open up new markets and add knowledge to where we'll be able to send out automated mails that earn us a per click for New Zealand, Canada, Australia, and a few other places. So UK for sure. So all the big places. So you see, you'll be able to modify your account, modify your profile. By the way, I'm going to have all of you, where it's possible, to sign up with Add Knowledge directly. That means that they're going to pay you. They pay every week. They'll pay directly, and you guys will, send me the cut that we agree upon, and that's it. I'll be out of the picture other than introducing you and getting you signed up on the platform. For those of you outside of the US, I'm not sure if they will allow you in, so that may have to continue to go into my account, but we'll work out all of those details. Then you'll be able to see you can update all autoresponders or update individual. You guys should remember this from the other system, but one thing that I think is different is you'll be able to choose a drop-down menu, okay, with your different list IDs. If I give you a bunch of list IDs for different lists, it's going to help you track it, and then use your sub IDs to find out. It's really important to track and to find out which list is performing the best. So you'll see, we've already got some of these active, and some of these have the specific sub ID in there. And you'll see you can also choose how many times per day you want to mail. Okay, so that's Add Knowledge. From the reporting, here's something I think you'll like, because a lot of people were kind of in the dark. Okay. So we want to see what we can about this particular message. All right, something to fix. Let's go on to the Add Knowledge report. So this does a 7-day historical and we'll show you what's happening. We've got opens and clicks disabled, but you'll see the number of clicks and the number paid and the number unpaid, the amount that you're being paid per click, and the amount that you've made. So as you guys can see, this is just one account that we've got going on with some of these lists here, and we're making, in the last week, something decent, 175 bucks just from this account, and this is just one. We've got VPSs working in a number of other places, so I think you guys could see you're going to be able to now tap into this and get this back in place, and we've now figured out some of the secret sauce. It's been taking us a while. We really had the right idea, the wrong implementation, or the old implementation, and I've spent a long time working on this to figure this out, and you guys are the first ones that I'm sharing it with. In addition, once you continue to send, you'll be able to run these reports, okay? And the reports, let's say we want to, let's go by auto response. So it's going to render all the reporting, which is stuff that people, felt like they were blind to. They had no idea how much had been sent and what had been delivered. So here you'll see the list size is 454, it's scheduled 498, queued 498, sent 498, undeliverables 331, blocks 126,000. So out of that, we're delivered about 10% of the list, right, or 8% of the list. But out of this 8%, we're still making money. This is a VPS. This is a list that's got that's going out on it. We're still making money off of that. And the beauty of this is we've now bringing on people for ISP relations, including Keith and Elias actually have volunteered to help me on the ISP relations team. So I know a lot of you guys have said that you'd like to help as well. And if that's the case, the more the merrier. We've got different roles for different people. But yeah, we're going to be able to see a lot more in depth into what's going on with your entire system. Let's go ahead and check this one. This is a pretty funny VPS. They had actually turned off my mailing ability on me, and I didn't realize it. And I wrote to the ISP, and they said to me, hey, we know you're mailing. We had a couple of questions. They asked me the questions. And the next day, I started seeing $20, $25, $30 off from this account. So this is, if you look at this one, we're delivering 42% of this list, okay? So we have a list size of 69,000, and we're scheduling 128, which means we're going twice a day on this particular list. And we're just out of 54,000 that we've delivered, 42%. We're making, on average, $20 a day. All right? That doesn't sound like much, but when you think about it from scaling and also the amount that you put into it, from a $20 spend, you're able to make $20 a day, $10 a day, $5 a day, which adds up to a good bit of money at the end of the month for every $20. Then you could see how you could scale it. And I've been able to duplicate this, not just on one, but on 2 and 3. And you'll see you can go back historically. So let's go back and see the... Now, I hope this appeals to you guys. I know that for some of you, you may be rusty. You may not, you may have been bored waiting for things to happen. But I hope you're seeing what I'm showing you here, because there's a lot of effort that we put into this thing that primarily was for me to help you guys, because this has been first and foremost on my mind for a year. I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't done anything. All I've been doing is working to get this back, to deliver what I promised to you guys from the beginning. So that starts with this new system. All right. And as you can see, there's a lot of features with this. We're not stopping. We've brought on more staff. We've brought on more developers. So now what it's going to take is for you guys to go out there I'm going to give you, to start, I'm going to give each one of you some IPs, okay? But if you want to scale it beyond that, you're going to have to start, kicking out $20 a month. That's all I ask you to put into it, right? And I think most people could agree that that's worthwhile. $20, roll out, get some IPs, get a domain name. That could be anywhere from $10 to $60, depending on whether you get an age domain name. All right. I'll put up the VPS. We'll throw ad knowledge on it. We'll need some people to work on getting more leads in-house. And I'll work on showing you guys how to load these up and start making money every day from ad knowledge. You'll all be signing up with ad knowledge just like you signed up with Ads for Dough, and you'll all be getting money. Again, like I said, they may not allow some of the Australian and New Zealand members of our team to sign up with them. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll talk to them about it tomorrow. But you guys will then be able to get your money from ad knowledge every week. So even if it's $100, $200 a week, I think you can see, you're going to be getting your money back pretty quickly. Now, see that report took a while to render because you're actually going to be able to see where you're delivering to every ISP, to Yahoo, what's going on. You'll see Yahoo's probably your best. And you could, we can go through and check Gmail, every single place that's on your list, and you'll see what's worthwhile maybe to keep mailing, all right? And where you're going to be getting your money from and what makes more sense to get more of if possible. Obviously, small domains like Cobra Design Engineering, there's one person on it. They got it and they received it. So you'll have to decide from these reports how much you want to, let's go to the top, how much you want to drill down and look into this. But it's all the information is here, and the system is only going to get better. Now, last thing that I want to touch on is that we spoke about inactives, what's going to happen with that. A lot of control is going to end up being given to the user. One of our biggest issues was how long things take to roll out. You guys can attest to that. So my vision is that almost everything is going to be in your hands at this point in the next month or so. So if you go out there and say, hey, Mark, I got myself a new VPS today and new IPs. At this present moment, you'll have to give them to me. My team will have to go and set them up. I'm making arrangements with guys and bringing people on board who are going to do that much faster than the last bunch of guys that I had would do that. So we're looking to get everyone turned around in a day or less. Obviously, if I have 20 or 30 requests, it may push things back. But what we're going to eventually do is have all this automated where you might go out, find a new VPS provider, get 4 or 6 more IPs and a new domain name, and you'll be able to add that all yourself from the back office of the system. So that way, if you're spending $20 and you're making $100 or $200 a month, you might be inclined, and I can't see why you wouldn't be, to go out and get more VPSs for $20 and make $100 to $200 a month. All right, so we're going to work a lot more on this together. Now that the system's in place, we're going to get back to the way it should have been with the EAB, where I'll meet with you guys. I'd like to meet with you once every 2 weeks. We're going to use the Facebook group a lot more. You'll be able to work with Ads for Dough, pick ClickBank offers, pretty much send what you want. All I ask is that if things are not going your way, you're not seeing the results that you want, just come to me and let's talk about it. This is a tough game, email, just like anything else with affiliate money. But I think I finally tapped back into the way that it's going to be really simple for you guys to see a return on your investment really quickly. So that's pretty much the software in a nutshell. I'm going to pause the screen share and I'm going to open up questions. So we're going to keep recording, but if you guys have questions, I see some of them. Quinton says his head is spinning. Okay. Bruce says, hope the screen's clear on the video. The market seems good. When can we work on this? $20 per month is okay. Hey, Bruce, yeah, it's $20 per month if you're satisfied with making, 4 or 5 times that. But once you start seeing that return, you might be inclined to put in more than that. Quinton, you mean your head is spinning from how much information I'm sharing, or everything with the software, or what? Yes. Okay. So yes, I assume means everything. All right, well, ask deeper questions then, please, to get the answers that you want. What can I do to make it clearer to you? You're not going to be left alone to flounder with this if that's what you're worried about. I'm showing you guys this so that together we can all do a, exactly, Bruce. You need to start using it to work out what questions you have. So it's going to be like anything else in life. And Bruce comes from a world of cars, so he obviously gets it. Like anything else, you need to start getting in there and using your new motor vehicle to learn what it's all about and then ask your questions. But that's fine. Don't worry, I'm not going to throw you to the wolves and say, all right, go in there, you're done, you're ready to start mailing. But I think it's going to be pretty self-explanatory. We've tried to make it easy for you. Add knowledge is as easy as it comes. You know, I'm going to give you guys some lists. Some new lists. I'm going to give you the IPs to get started, and you just got to get in there and work it. All right. So the video is going to be clear, I promise you, because it's on my machine. There's no bandwidth issues, so don't worry about that. I'll have it rendered in an hour or so and post it in the group. Thanks everyone for being there live. Does anyone else have questions before we call that the first of hopefully many future EAB meetings where we talk about this software and how it's going to make us and how it is making us money? All right, speak now, forever hold your peace. Again, I've turned off the audio, so if you're trying to talk, remember, you have to chat. I'll go ahead and open up the audio. When do we start? Good question, Bruce. I'll have you, I'm going to unmute everyone. Okay. Guys, you can talk now. All right, that's not going to work. Too many people, too much feedback. So I'm turning it off again. Let's. When do we start? Bruce said no. Don't have my mic set up. No problem. All right. So when do we start? When looking forward to getting started. We're going to start this week. I will have everything moved over. Your stuff was set up originally on the old system. I don't want to use that at all anymore. It's got too much bugs, too much problems. And I've got development staff that are ready on this to support us and fix us. So with Keith's help and with some of my other staff and Elias, I am going to start getting you onboarded as soon as tomorrow. So look out for notices in the Facebook group and look out for me to grab each one of you individually and let you know what's going to happen. I'll provide you the IPs first, a set of them. I can't promise they'll be great. I haven't even used them yet, but they should be reasonable to start seeing some money set up, start coming in, okay? I'll put some lists on there, and you could choose whether to start mailing ads for Doe stuff, which is perfectly fine with me since Chris and Jason have been nice enough to really help us out. You guys could mail that. You could mail ad knowledge stuff. I don't recommend doing the same on the same list or the same domain, the same IPs. So we'll talk about some of that stuff more in depth as we get started. All right. Well, look, guys, we're at the top of the hour. I appreciate your patience as always. You've been great. I'm not going anywhere. This is just the start of things. So let's get going. If you're not willing to put in the $20 a month to see the results, I could understand that too, but I can't promise you that you're going to be able to see the same things as I am without being willing to at least risk another 20 bucks. Okay. So once you see that and you'll start seeing, $100 coming in, I, I, I think you'll be willing to scale it. All right. I know if I found a machine that I put $1 in and spit out $5, $10, $20 back to me, I'd be sitting there all day long plugging it in and getting dollars from everybody that I knew. So I really have tapped into this. Finally, the right thing, and it's taken me a long time, but everything, all the pieces are together. Okay, guys. So thanks for attending tonight. I'll render this and put it up in the Facebook group. I wish you all a great night, and thanks for attending, and take care. Have a good night.